You're too good at what you do to still be struggling on LinkedIn. You've probably been posting content there, but you're getting very little back, and it's frustrating. When in reality, LinkedIn should be consistently bringing you new clients through your door and helping you keep your pipeline full. And the reason I can say this confidently is because I've lived it. I've been posting content on LinkedIn since 2019, video content to be specific, back when that platform was a completely different platform. I've got over 45,000 followers there, helped hundreds of companies win 6 and even 7-figure deals on the platform, and we've helped them go from basically zero brand and zero content on the platform to becoming one of the most well-known and trusted brands in their industry. And we're now running LinkedIn ad campaigns that are getting an 8-to-1 ROAS, return on ad spend, which means we put $1 in and we get $8 back. And we did all of this without the gimmicks, the automations, the VAs sending spamming messages to people. We did it the real and authentic way. And that's exactly what I'm gonna show you how to do in this video. So to make this very simple and easy to digest, I broke this down into 3 key points. Why posting content alone isn't enough. You need an actual LinkedIn strategy. But at the same time, number 2, you need a content strategy that actually drives results, one that is proven. And in that section, I'm going to talk about organic content, the free stuff that you can just post anytime you want. And then also I'm going to get into the paid stuff, which I have never talked about on video before. And I've got some amazing insights to share. And then the third key point is the underrated power of outbound and having an engagement strategy on LinkedIn. Because if you do this right, you can actually win clients and generate leads on that platform without having content that performs super well. Okay, so let's go back to number 1. Why posting content on LinkedIn is not enough. You're going to need more than that. You need an actual LinkedIn strategy. Now, I talked about this the other day on LinkedIn, and I got a really good question that came up. Someone said, hey, what's your strategy? How do you know if you have a LinkedIn strategy or not? Because for a lot of companies, this is a newsflash. You don't have a LinkedIn strategy. You have a posting schedule. When I go to companies and I say, hey, show me your LinkedIn strategy. What is it? And they say something like, well, we post on the company page 2 times a week, and we post on the founders or CEOs page 3 times a week, and we have someone ghostwriting their content. That's not a strategy. That's just a posting schedule. So how would I tell if you had a strategy? I would look at these 5 things. Number 1, what is the brand story or point of view that you're sharing on the platform? And really, this would be on other platforms too. If you can't tell me that story and how you're different and how your perspective is unique, you're missing a very important part of the strategy. Quick example from us is we are the anti-marketing agency. Instead of having a marketing agency do all of your content, we believe that you should be doing it yourself. We're going to empower you and your team to be able to make revenue generating content without a marketing agency. That's a unique perspective. It's a point of view. We have a whole story around it that you see not only on social, but on our websites and other platforms. You need to have that because you're going to build a lot of your content and your profiles and things like that around that. When someone lands on the profile, they need to know, what is the story? Why should I care? How are you different? What type of value do you provide that others do not? Second thing you need is a clear path to conversion, right? So when I do go to your profile, within 3 seconds, I need to know what you do. I need to be able to go to somewhere right away. Website is a good place for this, where I can get what you do, client success stories, and pricing and offerings. I'll give you 2 quick things for us. When you land on my LinkedIn profile, the story's clear. I want you to know exactly what we do and who we do it and why we're different right away. My path to conversion there is I want to either get serious buyers, people that want to talk to me, to book a call, and they can do that right on the website. Right. So I'm going to get them on the website because I want them to look at our pricing, our services, client success stories, and I want to get them to say, we want to book a call with you. We've seen your content for the past 2 months. Super insightful. We've learned some things. We're convinced we need to go this route versus that route. We want to book some time with you. I put pricing on the site because I want to qualify those who are not ready to work with us out. And I want to spend more time on the sales calls, talking about the value and where we can take them and how this is going to make them feel and how exciting it's going to be versus going back and forth between budgets and pricing. But if they're not ready to go there, which is the case sometimes, I still want a path to conversion. I want them to, yes, they're going to continue to see my content on LinkedIn. If they've seen my content, engaged with it, went to my profiles, connection request, that's going to signal to the LinkedIn algorithm, which I'm going to get to here in a second. You're going to learn more about the LinkedIn algorithm. That's going to signal the algorithm to show more of my content to them, which is great. That's what we want. But I also want to take them off of LinkedIn, because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So I'm going to take them either to an offer magnet, to my weekly CMO briefing, my email newsletter. I send out one very impactful, high value email once a week. I'm getting all my prospects, whether I'm on calls with them, they see me on LinkedIn, they see me on the website, wherever they see me, I want them to get on that newsletter because now I can reach them even if LinkedIn goes away or YouTube goes away, which is never going to happen. Point is, we need paths to to conversion. Third thing I'm looking at, if I'm looking to see if you have a LinkedIn strategy or not, is how do you measure success? Do you have KPIs in place? For us, we look at 3 core buckets when we're evaluating a social platform like LinkedIn. Engagement metrics, which is like likes, impressions, views, shares. Those are all important. Buyer intent metrics, which are getting us a little bit closer to becoming a customer. That's profile views, newsletter signups, website visits, little more engagement with us. And then we've got business impact metrics, which means if I look at my pipeline, how many of my last 20 companies in my pipeline have I checked the box to say these came from LinkedIn, either LinkedIn inbound organically, LinkedIn outreach, or LinkedIn paid ads, which we're going to get to in a little bit. If there's no way to measure success, how can there possibly be a strategy? There's not. Fourth thing I look at, what is your engagement and outbound strategy? Some might call this a social selling strategy. This is just way too important to not have anything for LinkedIn, because LinkedIn in a lot of ways is different than other platforms where it's more of a community base. It's more on your connections, who you engage with, who sees your content, who visits your profile, who you send messages to. That greatly influences what content is shown to who. So to simply show up there and post and ghost and roll out, it's not the best strategy. So remember I said there was 3 major key points I'm going to cover in this video: LinkedIn strategy, content strategy, organic and paid, and then also the outbound social selling. That's going to be third. I'm going to go into more detail then and show you how to take you just showing up on LinkedIn in your first couple of weeks, being able to book calls with potential clients. And the fifth thing I'm going to look at to know if you have a LinkedIn strategy or not is, do you create content that drives conversations and drives sales? Do you build pipeline because of your content? Because if you're like, hey, we're active, it's brand awareness, it's people sometimes know who we are, that's not enough. We of course want to share our brand story, communicate our message, provide value to our audience. Yes, generate some awareness. But what we want to do is beyond that. We want to create influence, authority. We want people to trust us, find us credible. So when we hop on calls, which I just did earlier, a guy hopped on, anything I said instantly had trust and credibility with him and authority. Whatever I said, he would have been like, that's probably true, even if it wasn't. Now, I'm not going to lie and bullshit people on calls, but the point is the content drove the conversation and it created influence and authority and trust, which then led to him signing up. If your content's not doing that, there's something broken. And so speaking of the content, that is key point number 2, having an organic content strategy. And I'm even going to get into the paid LinkedIn ads. Paid ads are optional. You do not have to run them to be successful on LinkedIn, but they are an amazing lever to pull, and it's super predictable. So let's tackle the organic content side of things first. And here are a few things that I think are just important to nail down for the organic content strategy. One of them is just, what type of content should I be posting on LinkedIn? I get that question all the time, right? So first of all, obviously video has become a very, very powerful, and I would almost say kind of the main medium now in a lot of ways, even though text and picture are still very heavy. But LinkedIn has built out an entire video feed. There's short form video there. It's become like the business social media platform that's heavy on video now, which is great because now you can actually create the same style short form videos that you might on other platforms, and you could potentially create the same things for LinkedIn. So you're talking 9x16, you're talking 60 seconds or less, maybe up to 90 seconds. It could go a little longer, could go a little shorter, but it's going to be punchier. You need a good hook in the first couple seconds, obviously, know how to retain your audience. And I actually talked to someone at LinkedIn and they were like, video is 1000% part of the now and part of the future. They've built a lot of infrastructure around it. We saw a huge rise in LinkedIn video impressions. I mean, it was the number 1 medium by far. We were getting millions of impressions every 7 days. And so were our clients. New people coming on the platform, they were getting millions of impressions per week. It was insane. It was like the gold rush of LinkedIn video. It first started popping off. Since then, that was summer 2024. But since then, we've had a lot of good times with great organic reach. And then, of course, like anything, we're going to see dips. We're going to see, dips in organic reach where it goes down for a little bit. Sometimes it goes back up. It fluctuates. But over time, just like most platforms, organic reach typically goes down. It'll go like this, up and down, up and down. But over time, just like I did with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, over time, more users, more ads, more creators, more opportunities for other people to go to other platforms, and you just don't get the reach you once did. I still think it's good on this platform. I think we've got some opportunity and runway with this, but the longer you wait, the more you might miss that opportunity. So text, still good on the platform. I don't think LinkedIn is going to get rid of text or picture post. I think they don't want to be a TikTok, even though they've got the video feed now. I think they want to keep a very community first, insights, business, highly educational, edutaining type platform. I don't think they want to become this wild video only platform. I really don't. So copywriting still matters there. Good storytelling through text, through pictures. There's polls you can run. There's carousels you can do. All of that stuff still works. I would just say video obviously can translate to a lot of other platforms. It's highly engaging, it's addicting if you do it right, and it builds authority and trust unlike any other platform. Like if you read 100 posts from someone, you're not going to feel like you know that person like if you watched 100 videos from them. So the video should be a piece of that content strategy, but it does not have to be the whole thing. The other piece to the organic side here and just the content strategy would be your posting schedule. It's like, how often should I post on LinkedIn? As much as you possibly can while being able to keep high levels of value for your target audience and being able to be consistent long term. So for us right now, it's 5 videos a week. We were up to 10 videos a week, a little while back. That's a lot. We may go back to that, but for right now, we're 5 videos a week, and that does an amazing job for our business, pipeline, lead flow, all that stuff. So Monday through Friday, you definitely can post on the weekends. That doesn't matter. I typically post in the mornings just to give it more runway throughout the day for people to engage, because all of our clients pretty much are here in the US. So I like those time zones, but you can post at 2, 3, 4, test out different things, obviously. But I think in the most case, it's 7 a.m., 8 a.m. is a pretty good sweet spot. I would also time it on when you engage on the platform as well, because if you start engaging with other people, sometimes that can jumpstart them to be able to engage with your content when you post. So take like 20 minutes, engage a while, potential clients, some people that you know. And then when you post, typically a lot of those same people will see your content too and engage with you back. And that just jumpstarts the algorithm. I'm not going to get into some like highly technical algorithm thing. The bottom line is like they're going to do what most platforms are going to do. They're going to show it to your trusted connections, the people who engage with your content. Usually people have looked at your profile, people that have engaged with you, sent you messages, seen your content, watched it before. They're going to show it to those people first. If those people raise their hand and say, yes, this is great content, this is actually even better than they normally post, they're going to show it to second degree connections, third degree, and they're going to start blasting it out from there. And the last thing on the organic content, and this is a really big one, is what should you talk about on LinkedIn if you want to win clients there? And so here's a few things to keep in mind. You definitely want to share your unique point of view, and then going back to that brand story. You need to talk about the things that you're doing with you, your clients, and your business that are a different way to do things than everyone else. The marketing example, right? Hey, don't hire a marketing agency. Build your own in-house content team, because here's why. Here's a success story of a client that did that, and they ditched their marketing agency. Now they're doing better content than they've ever done before, and they're doing it faster and it's cheaper. You need to have that unique point of view. Otherwise, your content just blends in. It's like, hey, here's an obvious tip that we could have Googled or AI'd. Like if you're just sharing information now, your content's never going to drive business. Information is a commodity. We can find it anywhere. I can go, what is the answer to this? How do you do this? What makes your content unique and what makes it actually drive business results is that it has a unique perspective, is that it is telling a story that no one else has lived. It is sharing something that maybe is contrary to popular belief. It's saying, I know a lot of people think this way. We actually come at it a different angle. And here's why. You also want to be talking about the gaps that your clients have as it relates to your business and your area of expertise. And you want to expose the gaps and then show them how to kind of fill the gaps, right? So I may say, hey, the reason that you're not getting a lot of results on LinkedIn is because you're not doing this one thing that you haven't even thought of yet. So I want to show the blind spots, the mistakes they're making. I want to highlight where they're at from a psychological standpoint, why they're not making this move, what they're concerned with, where they're at from a buying standpoint. I want to address all of this in the content. Like they basically can say, man, this content's so good. I feel like you know me. I feel like you were in the conference room as we were talking about this problem and what we should do next. There should be a level of urgency behind your content on why they need to act now or what opportunities they'll miss if they don't. And you definitely want success and transformation in your content. So you want to talk about the things that you're doing and the transformation and results that they're getting for yourself, your own company, your clients specifically. And then here's a really important thing to go with that. You need to talk about the emotional payoff. How are people feeling because they're doing the things that you are teaching? How did your client feel after they worked with you and got these results? This is content marketing. It needs feeling and emotions. That's actually what drives people to make decisions. And like they always say, you buy on emotion and then you justify on logic. It's true. And that's why your content needs to focus on that too. Okay, so what I want to do right now is actually give you an example of this, how this plays out in real time, everything I just talked about, a bad example and then a good example. Here's a bad example. This was my opening line to my post, okay? You don't want to do this. How to improve your LinkedIn post to get better engagement and reach. What's wrong with that? Right? Doesn't sound terrible, right? But here's what's happening with this. There's no point of view, no unique perspective. There's nothing like new or novel about that. There's no clear gap identified. I just said, here's how to improve something. I didn't say, hey, you're not winning clients right now, and here's why. There's no urgency to act now. There's no emotional or transformational payoff. There's not even an outcome. It's like my customers don't care about engagement or reach. They want to win clients. They want to build a number one brand in their industry. So I want to be talking about that versus engagement or reach. Certainly that might come up, right? Like that might be part of the conversation. But what we're talking about here is what do we lead with? What do we make top of mind? Now let's look at a good example. Okay, good example is why your LinkedIn content isn't bringing in clients, even though you do great work. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm playing to their psychology. I'm saying, hey, you do amazing work. So why are you not winning clients? Like, clients should be lining up to work with you on LinkedIn because you do great work, but yet they're still not. Why? Let me tell you why. This is what you're missing. So now I've got a little bit of a unique angle here. I've created a gap in curiosity. Now they want to know, right? I've identified something that they're struggling with, but I've also pointed out something that they do good. So I'm making them feel good. I'm making them feel like, yeah, you're right. I am really good at what I do. Our business is amazing. Why are clients not lining up to work with us on LinkedIn or on social or through our video? My ears just perked up. Now I feel like you understand me. I'm heard, but you've identified a big gap that I know we have. So I'm listening. There's also that little bit of emotional trigger, right? Like I tied it into like making you feel good about what you do, but also there's this big opportunity and pain point on the other side. That type of content gets people to stop, engage, share, start conversations, book meetings with you. Okay, so that's the organic side of LinkedIn content. Now let's talk about the paid side. And like I mentioned, I have never talked about paid ads in depth on a YouTube video before. So this is the first time you're going to hear it. The only time you're going to hear about this again is if you go to future videos that I'm going to make, and I am going to make one. And by the way, drop a comment. I was going to say drop a comment in the comments. Drop a comment in the comments so I can read your comment, so I can respond to the comment, because here's what I want to do. I want to make another video that's detailed about LinkedIn ads. We're not going to have time to go in like the 100%, just spend a whole video on deep dive into LinkedIn ads, but I think it's so freaking important to do. And I think there's so much value there. And if you can get that 8-to-1 ROAS or even something close to that, spending $1 to get 8, why would I not give you that secret sauce? Like, why would I not teach that to you and show the behind the scenes and show who I'm targeting and how I'm running the ads? And if you want that, like, please drop a comment and say, LinkedIn ads would be amazing to hear about. If I've already made the video, I'm going to tag it at the end of this so you can go straight to that video. So I'll say a few things on the ads and how we're getting the results that we're getting them. A lot of people will say like LinkedIn ads are expensive, right? Or, oh, I spent a lot of money on them. We did them for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, didn't get a lot of results, spent a lot of money. It's because one of two things were happening. There was a big mistake in either 2 of these, or at least 1 of these, but if not both of these. Number 1, the targeting was terrible, right? So maybe you expanded your network and you were targeting all these other people that you should not have been targeting. Maybe you weren't dialed in. Your audience was hundreds of thousands of people when it should have been 50,000 or 40,000 or 60,000. Maybe you weren't niche enough with going after the right industry, job titles, revenue, company size. There's a bunch of mistakes that you can make in that process. The other thing I see all the time is just the creative sucks. Like the actual content sucks. And a lot of people are running it from company pages, which you kind of have to do. But what we do is we run thought leadership ads, which show up on it looks like it's coming from my personal page, but it says promoted by Impacts Marketing. So technically it's ran on the company page. You have to set it up through your company page, but then you can actually pick video, thought leadership ad, use a person that works for your company, in this case, me, the founder, CEO, use one of my pieces of content as the ad. So it looks like when you see in the feed, oh, this is Alex posting. In reality, it's promoted. And so there is a fine line. You can see it on there, but you almost wouldn't even see it unless you looked. So that gives me now, if you have organic brand, if you really have brand, that helps even more. Because now people go to your page, they've seen your other content, they're starting to get exposed to you. So it doesn't look like it's coming from some random company. It's coming actually from a thought leader. And so the content just has to be good. We've really leaned into video. That's pretty much all we've done from an ad standpoint. We're getting ready to mix in some pictures and things like that. Videos on thought leadership ads absolutely crush it. And what's cool about videos, you can go back and you can target people that have watched that same video now for the second time around, 25%, 50%, 75% of the video. So now I'm going back around the second time. I'm retargeting people that have already seen one of my videos, and now I'm showing them another one. The last thing I'll say on LinkedIn ads is you need to involve customers in the actual video ads. And I would say if you're going to do picture, text, whatever you're going to do, we are running right now 2 separate ads that are video only. They are success stories from our customers. So it's me talking to a customer, almost like a podcast style setting. And I'm just having a conversation with them and we're talking about the results that we got. I'm making sure the hook's on point. I'm making sure they talk about the results they get. And you'll be surprised to hear this. Shocker, shocker. I'm tying in that point of view. I'm tying in that story that I talked about in the beginning that you need to have. That story ties right into the ad. It's like literally everything comes full circle. And that's when you know you have an actual strategy. So again, I'm going to talk a lot more about LinkedIn paid ads. Drop a comment if you do want to hear about it. Third major key point here as it relates to how to build more pipeline, win more clients, build a legitimate brand on LinkedIn is knowing how to do outbound, having an engagement strategy. Some might call it social selling strategy. There's regular LinkedIn, and then there's Sales Navigator, which Sales Navigator is a product on LinkedIn. That's why LinkedIn has had a good organic reach for a long time, because they don't rely just on ads. They have products like Sales Navigator and Recruiter, and they have all these different things, right? So what I teach from an outbound standpoint is the opposite of the spam that you hate getting on LinkedIn. That's like really freaking annoying. People get blocked for it, ruins their brand. And it's not automated. It's not hiring a bunch of VAs from overseas to sell stuff to people that are never going to buy. My approach is the opposite. It's, yes, we're going to take a little bit more time. We're going to be a little bit more targeted. We're going to be a little bit more personalized and relevant. But guess what? We're going to convert. Like, I'd rather send 10 messages that were more targeted. It took a little more time, even though we've got some templates I'm going to show you here in 1 second. They're going to be ultra helpful and you can steal them. A little more time, but I'm actually booking meetings versus, we sent 200 DMs. Cool. Did we book any meetings? No. One person said yes and then canceled on us or didn't show up. Oh, shocker. Like, of course they don't know who you are. You have no brand. You didn't relate to them. You didn't build trust with them. You didn't build authority with them. So there's a couple different parts to this, right? And the first thing I would say is, like, where are you going to find these people to even connect with or message in the first place? Obviously, LinkedIn has good search capabilities. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is next level. Like, you go on there, I think it's $99 a month or whatever it is, and you can search by job title if they've posted content on LinkedIn. So you can actually search by people that are actively posting content, which you definitely want to do. Those are prime customers in most cases. Company size, revenue, just all types of different things that you're not going to get on regular LinkedIn search. So please know that. Like, LinkedIn Navigator, if your customers are on LinkedIn, is absolutely worth doing. If you've got a good strategy, you're building lead list in there. You can create your own mini home feed where it looks like the home feed of LinkedIn, but it's all just leads, like right on your homepage. It's friggin' amazing. But where do you find the prospects, right? So a couple different things. If they've interacted with your content, that's where you go first. Like, that's warm engagement that you can start conversations with ASAP. You definitely want to go there first. Secondly, you want to look at who's viewed your profile. That's an amazing feature that LinkedIn has that other platforms don't always have. I can see if prospects look at my profile. What's really important about this is there's a lot of LinkedIn lurkers. Those are dream customers that see your content but don't actually engage with it. And a lot of people are like, well, how do we convert that? Like, I can't see it. There's no data. It's just impressions or views. Go to your profile. Look at your profile views. Okay. Now, sometimes those people just reach out and they'll reach out randomly. Like, yeah, I've seen your content for 3 months now and I'd like to talk to you. Let's schedule a call. They'll just book a meeting. That's fantastic. That definitely happens. But you're also leaving a lot of revenue on the table if you're not looking at your profile views. Because when you have a video that does well or a piece of content that does well, oftentimes those lurkers, they won't engage, they won't comment, they won't like, but they'll go to your profile. And so you can see those people and say, oh, so-and-so saw my profile. I did a post about this industry and the gaps that my customer has right now and how to solve them. And they just happen to look at my profile. Interesting. Same thing happens with paid ads. You'll notice you get a lot more profile hits from dream clients. That's not coincidence. That's them having buyer intent. So being able to follow up with them, send them a connection request. Hey, I think we got connected through one of my videos, probably would love to connect, right? Very simple on the connection request. We'll talk about some more frameworks and scripts on those. And then we're obviously going to look at people who we've recently connected with. And then beyond that, we're going to look at like turning cold traffic into a little bit warmer, where we're going to go out and search people on Sales Navigator, and we're going to engage with their content to start conversations, add connections, and then again, start booking some meetings. Get them in our feed because that's how the LinkedIn algorithm works. So one question always comes up is like, what do you say in the connection request? What do you say in the LinkedIn DMs to actually book meetings and turn LinkedIn traffic into conversations with dream clients? And so here's a couple examples of connection requests, and then I'll send some examples of DMs, okay? A lot of different ways to do this. This also depends on your personality, your style, what you sell, the sales cycle, all that stuff. But you'll be able to take some things from this and use them, I guarantee it. On the connection request, you're either not going to send a note, or if you do send a note, keep it very short, keep it relevant, personalized, and don't mention anything about your product or service. So I like saying something like this. Like, if I know they probably saw some of my videos, they've looked at my profile, they've engaged, I might say something like, hey, thanks for checking out some of my recent videos. I think that's why we got connected, at least. Fist pump. And then I send the connection request. Super short, super sweet. And then usually they'll say something like, yeah, I actually saw one of your videos, or even if they didn't, they typically accept. It's pretty light. It's not salesy at all. I don't mention what I do or who I serve. Let's say I engaged with their content. A simple connection request might be, really liked your recent post on whatever that topic was. Feel like you nailed it. Would love to connect. That's it, right? That's all we say on connection requests. We just reference something specific, maybe something relevant in the profile, their content. Would love to connect with you. You could go a little bit beyond that, but that's for the most part really all you want to do on the connection request. If you try to get salesy or, hey, if you got some time, I'd love to talk to you about this and this, don't do that in the connection request. Okay, let's move to the DMs now. So this is something I might send to, let's say I'm targeting staffing and recruiting companies, and I say, hey, for the past few years, I've worked with recruiting firms doing anywhere from 5 to 50 million a year. And what I've noticed is the fastest growing ones all take a wildly different approach to marketing and content than the ones that are stalled. I'd love to share what that is and what that looks like and how you could even apply it in your business right away if you got maybe 15, 20 minutes to connect over the next couple of weeks. Either way, great to be connected to you. That's money. It works. It starts conversations. You're not going to get everyone, but you're going to get a good amount of people because it's not spammy. I didn't mention my product or service, but what I did is I started to open up their mind to the idea that there's these fast growing companies and there's companies stalled. They probably want to be a fast growing company. They would love to peel the curtain back and say, what are they doing that they're growing so fast? How are they growing so fast? How are they blowing up on LinkedIn? Well, I want to share that with you. And so that's just straight value that is worth their time. We're trying to basically trade high value for their time. And then their time leads into, so how do you guys specifically work? So what have you done for this company, or what results do you get, or how does it work? What is it like to work with you guys? That starts those conversations, right? Another approach is challenging the status quo. So I may just ask a question. I may say, hey, I noticed that, you guys are doing this, and this. Loved your post about X, Y, and Z. I'm always starting off with something that's a little bit more personal and relevant to them, makes them feel good. And then I might say, hey, I'm just curious, I see you guys have started to do some content, some videos. Have you thought about bringing that in-house? Because we're seeing some of the fastest growing staffing and recruiting companies in this case bring their content teams internal versus using a marketing agency. It's actually faster. It's oftentimes cheaper long-term. And it drives way more business for the company. I'd love to talk about that model and share some of the things they're doing if that's something you're interested in. Let me know if you got 20 minutes. And so again, we're keeping this pretty light and conversational, very casual. It's like getting a message from a friend, someone that you bumped into at a conference, whatever it is. But there is value. We're trading time for value, just like you're doing in your content. They're going to spend time watching, consuming, listening to it, and you're going to give them in return new perspectives, how to solve the problems that they have, whatever that might be. So we've covered the 3 key points, and by now you should be able to honestly go out there and turn LinkedIn into a new revenue stream for your business. And there's that much opportunity on the platform. And if you want someone to partner with you to help you do it, to work through the strategy, the processes, the systems, AI, LinkedIn organic, paid ads, the social selling strategy, we would love to help you do that. Send me an email, go to our website and book a call. I'd love to talk with you. And if you found this helpful and this really did add value for you, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give it a share it with somebody else who could use this advice, because that's what helps us grow our channel and create more content like this. And definitely one more time, I'll ask you, if you want to learn more about LinkedIn paid ads specifically, I'll do an entire video on it coming next, more than likely. Let me know in the comments and I will make it happen. And as always, I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you for the next one.